Okay, so we got a Shaddoll deck list here today, so enjoy, like, subscribe, cool. So we got 3 Wendy, best card in the deck. There's not much more to say about it. When it's dumped, you just special summon one, so that's nice. 3 Square Mana, it's pure Shaddoll, so you want to be playing 3 of this. When it's sent, you can send any Shaddoll, so that's nice. 2 Beast, so when it's flipped you draw 2, discard 1, so you want to be getting the flip effect, but when it's dumped you can draw 1, so it's nice. I mean, it's draw power, what's not to love, am I right? 2 Hedgehog, it's just your searcher for spells and monsters, so that's nice. You want to be using its flip effect to add the fusions, because we've only got a few of them. 1 Aerial for the combo with Incarnation and Construct and all of that, so that's nice. We've got 1 Falco. I mean, it used to be really good, but now it's crap, so we don't really play too many of that. And 1 Dragon, because pop, it's back removal, which is always nice, you know. So it's when it's sent, it pops 1 spell. 2 Mathematician. This is your normal summon. This is what you want. When you normal summon it, you send 1, which is nice, and that's of any level. And then we do play the 1 Armageddon Knight, so we can send any dark. Honestly, I probably should be just running 3 Mathematician and no Knight, but I prefer having the options. 2 Trick Clown, Hat Tricker, and Damage Juggler. Performance Engine, basically you want to be seeing Damage Juggler, I want to get more. So Damage Juggler's effect is when it's in the graveyard, you can banish it to add a Trick Clown. Hat Tricker's effect is if there's 2 monsters on the field, you can special summon it, which is really nice. Helps you get into cross sheet. And Trick Clown, when it's sent to the graveyard, you can pay 1,000 to bring it back. That's it for the monsters, except for 1, which I'll get to later. Shaddoll Fusion, best card in the deck, other than Wendy. Basically, it's a normal fusion, but if your opponent has an extra deck monster, you can use materials from the decks. That's really, really nice, that is. Next up we have Shaddoll Fusion. It's just a quick play fusion. So you want to be using it during the battle phase and during your opponent's turn. So you want to be using it during the battle phase to get more damage, and then during your opponent's turn to just disrupt them, I guess. Bring out Winder on them. And then, of course, 3 Super Poly main deck. It's just a nice card. Yeah, I mean, you want to be... Usually you'll only ever get 1 monster from your opponent, because you need a Shaddoll monster for most of the fusions, because we don't run Starving Venom, I don't think. But, yeah, it's still nice. It's still a really good card. But unfortunately, there is a ruling. You don't get the effects off the Shaddolls if it's sent for the discard, because it's discard, it's not actually the effect. 3 Allure. What's not to say? Draw 2, banish 1 dark, so it's really nice. It really helps with the draw power, and since most of the Shaddolls are darks, thought I'd play it at 3. Got 1 Pot of Avarice, shuffle back 5, draw 2, which is really nice in this deck because you're spamming the graveyard with monsters all of the time. Honestly, you probably could run this one at 2, but I find no need for that. Because, I mean, you only ever really need 1. I mean, you don't really see the cards much at 1 anyway. Foolish Burial, it's, what's not to love about this? Just send 1 monster, which is really nice. And Incarnation for the convoluted combo. So basically its effect is, from the graveyard you can banish it and 1 monster, 1 Shaddoll monster I believe, to flip a Shaddoll monster. And basically what you want to be using that for is to flip Ariel, because Ariel's effect is when she's flipped, you can special summon from the banish. So you use Incarnation to flip Ariel. Ariel's effect, you banish with the Incarnation one of your fusion monsters, flip Ariel, Ariel's effect, bring back one of the fusion monsters. And in Master of 4, that was really, really helpful, because you could bring it back into any zone. Yeah, but it's Master of 5 now, so that doesn't really matter. And then last but not least, our last monster, Blue Boy. 2 secrets and a knowledge. That's our spellbook engine. I didn't want to go, like, normally you play 2 Blue Boys, 2 secrets and a knowledge, but I didn't want to play the extra Blue Boy because we've only got 1 knowledge, and our normal summon more wants to go to Mathematician and Dark Knight, but oh well. Yeah, that wraps up the main deck. I believe it's like 40 or 40 something. Yeah, close enough. Right, onto the extra deck. 3 construct. Best, like, okay, well it's not the best card in the deck, but it's the best extra deck monster. I mean, it's just amazing. So basically, when it's summoned, you get to dump 1. And when it battles a special summoned monster, you get to destroy it through card effect, which is really nice. So, you know, if it's battling literally any special summoned monster, it wins. The only thing that I can think of where it's not good is against, because it's mandatory, the only thing that's not good against is Gravity Controller, which Gravity Controller's effect is that it will, when it battles a monster in the extra monster zone, I think, yeah, it sends it back to the extra deck with Gravity Controller, and basically the ruling is that if Construct attacks Gravity Controller goes off before Construct, so Construct gets shuffled back before effect can go off. Right, we got 2 window, there's no need to play 3. Honestly, you could probably only play 1. Because, you know, once they get over the first window, what's the point putting out a second window? But, you know, it's... Back in the day, Construct was the best card, you know, because it was just like, there was so many combos with it. But in New Day Yu-Gi-Oh!, when every deck is so special summoning reliant, Winder is so good. We've got 2 App Cologne, the new card from the structure deck. It's nice. Basically, when it's summoned, when it's... Hold on. Yeah, so if it's special summoned, you can target 1 card on the field and negate all of its effects. It doesn't get any effects whatsoever. And if it's sent to the graveyard, you can add a Shaddoll card from your deck, or graveyard, to your hand, then discard 1 card. Now the second effect is amazing, because it's any card. It doesn't just have to be a monster. It's not just a spell. It can be anything, and it can be from deck or graveyard, which is really nice. Also, you can use the App Cologne to, if you've gotten out 3 constructs, you can use the App Cologne to send the construct back to the extra deck. But if a monster is sent to the extra deck using App Cologne, its effect will not go off, because the card did not reach to your hand, so you don't have to discard. And with the discard, obviously, you get the Shaddoll monster effects, which is really, really nice. Next up, we've got 2 Shakanaga. I really love this card, I really do. One of my friends plays Cleafort, so he loves this card too. And it's really nice. It's basically, when a special summon monster activates effects, discard a Shaddoll, negate the effect. And obviously with all of these fusion monsters, their effects are, like, when they hit the graveyard, you can add a fusion spell back to hand. I thought I probably should mention that. Next up, we play 1 Grista and 1 Wendigo. The Grista, it's just nice, you know, like, it's just a nice card. It's, like, really useful. Most people don't play it, but, you know, it's a nice super poly target against Salamangreat. So yeah, it's nice. Also, mentioning that, super poly, Shekanaga is really good with these Adamanticators running around. It's shaping up to be a really strong deck. So Shekanaga is nice against it because you can super poly them away. And I play the Wendigo. I don't even know what the Wendigo's effect is, but basically I just play it against Appaloosa, so you can super poly the Appaloosa away, because, let's be real here. we play one Abyss Dweller. It's just nice, you know. It's nice against the mirror match. Really, it absolutely cripples this deck. One Cross Sheep. I mean, it's the best. It's